If you're somebody who listens to Grant Cardone, Jordan Belfort, or any of the other sales gurus, listen up. My sales approach is vastly, basically the exact opposite of all of these gurus. And what I mean by that is, these guys, what they teach you is when the customer says X, when the customer says, let me think about it, you say Y, you say this. When the customer says, let me talk to my spouse, you say that. And it's a very reactionary, handling objections type of sales approach. And I've done it, and I've been trained on it, and I was good at it, and I hated it. And so here's what I can tell you. After doing sales for 10 years, from selling home security systems to software to SEO to websites to social media to everything that you could think of. It doesn't matter if you're selling ice. There's one thing that's always going to be the case, and that is there will always be objections. Let me repeat that. There will always be objections. And so if you know that, why not go and handle the objections up front? Why not go and eliminate? That's why if you see my videos, I don't say how to handle the price objection. I say how to eliminate the price objection. Because everybody else is going, hey, how do you overcome the objection? How do you overcome the objection? How do you overcome the objection? I'm trying to think different, going, how do you just eliminate the objection entirely so there is no objection? And what I've learned by doing sales is that there's two different ways to overcome sales. And the one that everyone's used to is handling objections. We also call that post-emptive overcoming the objection. Post-emptively overcome the objection. But there's this gangster move called preemptively overcome the objection, which is knowing the objection's already coming and handling it before it can ever become an objection. Because what I've learned, and what you've probably noticed in life, is that when something happens, if you can go and catch it before, you always say there's this phrase, gotta catch the shit before it hits the fan, right? When you tell a customer up front, hey, just so you know, the winter, it's gonna be a little bit slow. It's gonna be a little bit slow. It's Christmas, it's cold. It's not gonna be a big deal. But if that same customer, if you just forget or you decide, I don't wanna say anything, when the winter comes and the calls slow down, mark my words, friends, you are going to get a call and they are gonna say, where are my leads? Where are my leads? Where are my leads? And you're probably gonna lose the client. But because you brought it up front, you handled it on your terms, you handled it preemptively, it was not a deal breaker. It was not something where they wanted to cancel or walk away from the deal. And so by doing this, what you're doing is you're controlling the entire sale and you're eliminating the objection. So the whole way I teach sales, the whole way I approach sales is, let me just write down all the objections and let me come up strategically with a way or ways to overcome that objection before it ever even becomes an objection, right? I'm thinking a couple moves ahead. And I've been doing this strategy for a long time. And when I tell people this, when I get them into my program and I tell them this, I'm like, look, I understand it's backwards. I understand it's unorthodox. But guess what? Most people don't know how to sell. And so why are you listening to their advice? Why are you listening to their advice? So here's what I do. Here's what I teach is I have everyone in my program. We make an entire list of every single objection that might come up. And then we come up with strategic ways to overcome the objection so that it isn't an objection. And we do this for every single thing. And if we see a new objection, we're like, oh, that might be an objection. We just go ahead and we bring it up first, okay? So what I used to do when I was doing door-to-door sales is I would just bring everything up. I would bring everything up. When I was dropping the price, everything, I'm like, it's this much money, it's $60 a month. And yes, there's an agreement. There is an agreement. What do you think? You just get all this equipment for free? We're not a nonprofit. Of course there's an agreement, right? And I said it with that tone, with that confidence, and I brought it up. But you compare that to what some of my colleagues would do, which is just, sorry, the sun is insane. What they would do, which is like, try and sneak it in, try and not bring it up, try and just kind of lace it in at the end. and then it would be a deal breaker. And I was like, no, we're going to take the exact opposite approach. We're going to bring everything up. And so guys, from somebody who's got experience doing both, I've done the overcoming the objection thing. Trust me, I've done that. I've been trained on it. I'm good at it, but I don't like it because it's much more difficult to overcome the objection than to just eliminate the objection. So my entire approach to sales, think about these old infomercials that you guys probably have seen, where you literally just watch this infomercial and they don't have a chance of talking to you because you're just watching TV. But they're so good and so scripted, they've thought of every single objection possible and they've overcome it in a 30-second or a minute or 2-minute spot to where you're buying, okay? So guys, it's funny because we take the advice and we follow most people that we hear, but most people aren't successful. Most people are broke. So why don't we just think about this? Why don't we think, and this is my whole life right now, and for the last couple of years, I've thought, everyone's doing it this way. So what would it look like if we did it the exact opposite way? If everyone's overcoming the objection, what would it look like if we just eliminated the objection? And I'm telling you right now, the reason that you do this is, number one, you're going to know that you're getting the deal. Before you get on that call, you will know with a 97% rate or 97% accuracy that you're going to get that deal. There's always the anomalies, but you are going to know that you are going to get the deal. And so on top of that, it just makes it so that you're controlling the scenario. You're controlling the sale. And at the end of the call, you've eliminated all the objections and there is nothing that the customer can do. And it's not like you're trying to force them to do anything, because I don't force anyone to do anything, but you just talk through with them logically. You're like, look, you already told me this. You already told me that. You already told me that you don't need to talk to your partner. Let's do it. And then I end and I go, Amex or Visa, baby. Give me the credit card. Let's freaking go. So anyway, guys, the lesson here is not just with this, not just with sales, but when everyone else is doing this, what if you did the exact opposite, right? What if you did the exact opposite? What if everyone else is trying to, take this sales approach? Everyone else is calling and saying this. What if you said the exact opposite? That's why my strategy works so well of calling the business owner, not asking for money, not asking, hey, can I sell you some leads? But hey, I don't want to even talk about business, Mr. Business Owner, Mrs. Business Owner. I just want to give you a couple free leads. And then we can talk. And if you don't like them, cool, they're free leads. That's different. And that's why it works. And the same thing is true in sales. Everyone's going to wait for the objections. Everyone's going to wait for them to come up. I'm not. I know what's going to happen. I know you got to play offense to win the game, and I'm playing freaking offense. I'm going after the objection. If I know that there's a potential chance that someone's going to need to talk to their partner, I'm going to tell them before, if you need to talk to your partner, if you need to talk to your freaking mom, if you need to talk to your goldfish, if you need to pray about it, whatever it is, I'm cool. Just do it before, because I want to think about it. That's how I roll. If that's a problem with you, we're not going to work well together. So guys, take that little nugget. We'll talk soon.